history has shown us something disturbing about human psychology. Some of the most dangerous criminals do not look dangerous at all. They look intelligent, successful, respected. Which is why the case of Jeffrey Epstein shocked the world. Because behind the image of wealth and influence, investigators uncovered a network where young girls were allegedly recruited, groomed, and exploited for years. The question that disturbed many psychologists was not just what happened, but how a person could build such a system without apparent remorse. To understand that, psychologists often examine certain personality patterns seen in powerful offenders. Narcissism. One of the most discussed traits is extreme narcissism. Narcissism is often misunderstood as confidence, but in psychology, extreme narcissism means believing you are fundamentally more important than everyone else. Your desires matter more. Your needs matter more. In cases like Epstein's, investigators described patterns where victims were treated not as individuals, but as objects to serve someone's desires. This kind of thinking reflects a severe lack of empathy, which psychologists often associate with narcissistic personality traits. God complex. In some individuals, narcissism can evolve into something even more dangerous, a God complex, a mindset where someone begins to believe they are exceptional, even above morality itself. When someone becomes extremely wealthy, influential, and surrounded by people who admire them, the brain can slowly internalize a dangerous belief. I am untouchable. In the Epstein case, many people later questioned how such activities could allegedly continue for years without serious consequences. That perception of untouchability can reinforce the illusion of power. Moral disengagement. Another psychological mechanism often seen in powerful offenders is called moral disengagement. This happens when a person slowly separates their actions from their moral standards. Instead of recognizing harm, they justify the behavior. They normalize it. They rationalize it. In investigations surrounding Epstein, reports suggested a system where young girls were recruited through intermediaries and gradually drawn into inappropriate situations. Such systems often rely on normalizing harmful behavior step by step, allowing the person responsible to avoid confronting the moral consequences. Grooming psychology. One of the most disturbing aspects discussed in many cases of exploitation is grooming. Grooming is a psychological process used by predators to gain trust and gradually lower boundaries. It may begin with gifts, attention, or financial help. Over time, the predator slowly creates emotional dependence or confusion, making it harder for the victim to recognize the manipulation. In the Epstein case, some victims described being initially invited for massage sessions, which gradually escalated into exploitative situations. This gradual escalation is a classic grooming pattern seen in many abuse cases. The predator paradox. One of the most unsettling reality about predators is what psychologists sometimes call the predator paradox. Predators rarely appear dangerous. They are often charming, socially skilled, and respected. This is because manipulation requires understanding human psychology. In many high-profile criminal cases, the offender was able to build trust with people around them, which helped conceal harmful behavior for years. The bystander effect. Another uncomfortable question arises from cases like these. How can such behavior continue for so long without intervention? Psychologists describe this phenomenon as the bystander effect. When someone powerful behaves unethically, people around them may ignore warning signs. Not necessarily because they support the behavior, but because power creates fear, doubt, and social pressure. People hesitate to challenge someone who appears influential or untouchable. Cases like the Epstein scandal disturb society for a reason. They reveal something uncomfortable about human psychology. Dangerous behavior does not always appear obvious or violent. Sometimes it hides behind wealth, status, and charisma. And understanding these psychological patterns may be the first step in recognizing them before they can harm others.